John Singleton, tells the story of being in a limousine with Tupac and on endless loop for hours was Party in Bull. It was like Tupac was obsessed with the song. And that's one of the things that led to him reaching out to Big, and that was really kind of the birth of their friendship.
Big would sleep on Pac's couch.
Pac was a year older, but essentially the thing was that they both identified with lack of central father figure, being hot MCs at the same time, naturally intelligent, both in the street sense and in book sense, because both were well-read. They just had a lot of fun around each other.
At one point, that was my dog. Funny, too. A lot of people didn't know that about Duke. He was funny. I could make him laugh, man. He liked to hang out and get drunk. His interviews and everything, he just seemed so angry, but at the same time so charming. You know what I'm saying?
Pac was almost like mentoring Big in the beginning. To understand Biggie and Tupac is really to watch this kind of the Gemini quality. You know, they were both Geminis, and they attracted each other, and then, of course, you know, it repelled.
We was on the 8th floor, and me and Nino just went outside to go smoke real quick and just, you know, kick it. And I seen Pac walking up the block, and I just started yelling down at him, like, yo, the C's, come around the corner, I'm gonna come downstairs and get you. And that's how I went. I walked back, I came back in the room, and I told Big, I'm like, yo, Big, Pac downstairs. He's like, yo, go downstairs and get him.
All of a sudden, I hear noise.
And before we could walk out, one of the dudes came from the corner, just pointed the gun at us, told us to get back in the elevator. Me and Nino stepped right back in here. And the only thing we could do was go upstairs and tell Big. Like, you know what I mean? We was kids, yo, Big. Pac downstairs getting robbed right now. Big was like, yo, y'all lying. I'm like, no, we dead serious. And he saw it in our face, like, the first thing he did was to make sure we was all right. Don't come downstairs, y'all stay right here, I'll be right back. He ain't come right back, we came downstairs. They brought him out on the elevator, right past us.
He come out, look around, stick up the middle finger. They put him in the ambulance. And we were just curious, like, what was that supposed to mean? Like, was that middle finger to us?
From Tupac's perspective, he said, nobody would look him in the eye, and that the people that were upstairs must have known that he was gonna be ambushed and robbed. And so he basically accused all the people in that room of being a part of the conspiracy.
They know that I was the truest involved with Biggie's success. I like to share my experiences in the game and my lessons and my rules and my knowledge on the game with him. You know what I mean? He owed me more. He owed me more than to turn his head and act like he didn't know he was about to blow my head off. He knew.
Pac said some very provocative things in the Kevin Powell interview for Vibe about Puffy, about Big. You know, Big should have known that he was getting set up, and he didn't warn him. Once Suge Knight got involved, once Death Row got involved, then it became a completely other thing. It became a war. There was blood spilt and threats made, and a lot of that really started at the Source Awards.
Death Row rolled in deep. I mean, they flew in planes of people. They're getting boos when they're coming up for some of the awards.
What? Wait. The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row? We know y'all East Coast. We know we at.
And then Suge set it off because when Suge comes out on stage, he makes a direct diss at Puffy.
Like to tell Tupac, keep his guards up, we ride with him. And one other thing I like to say, any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
Puffy, it was like, yo, nah, that's not the route we go. We're not gonna do that. We were positive.
I'm the executive producer that a comment was made about a little bit earlier. I'm a positive black man, and I make music to bring us together, not to separate us, and all this East and West that need to stop.
We didn't want any part of it. You know, we didn't want what would come if we fed into this.
When Vibe put East Coast versus West Coast, the whole thing was coined and you can choose your side.
The media kept throwing the gasoline on the fire and then had the nerve to sit back and go, why is this so hot? It went from being a great time being on the road to now you gotta watch your back, You know, you don't know who's with who, how it's gonna go down.
People calling you threats and things like that.
The whole time I was like, this is not good. This is dangerous.